Concentrate like a Roman. Do this thing in front of you as if it's the only thing that matters, as if it's the last thing that you're doing in your life. Many mickles make a muckle, as Washington said. Stuff adds up. That's how you get there, one step at a time, one day at a time. Just go now.
There's never a bad time to examine your habits, to set new ones. But at the end of one year and the beginning of a new one, there is the opportunity for what you might call a clean break. Seneca starts each year plunging into the Tiber River in Rome. I think he's washing off the old year and starting fresh for a new year. He's also, I think, starting by doing something hard and difficult and challenging. That's one of my favorite parts of Stoicism and one of my favorite parts of the year. Every year, I try to think about who I want to be in the year to come and make real choices about how to get there. I'm Ryan Holiday. I've written books about Stoic philosophy. I've been lucky enough to speak about it to the NBA and the NFL, sitting senators and special forces leader. But I'm also just a regular person who's trying to get a little bit better every single year. And in today's episode, I want to talk about some Stoic-inspired habits that you can look at as we go into a new year, as we face down 2023. Habits to stop doing, habits to start doing, who the Stoics want you to be in 2023. One of the most important habits you can practice is patience. One of the things I learned with this bookstore is the truth of what they call Hofstadter's Law. Always takes longer than you expect, even when you take Hofstadter's Law into account. We want our progress now. We want our success now. We want our rewards now. But if you can practice delayed gratification, if you can understand that it takes a while, that it's part of a process, you're almost always going to be more successful. Think of Marcus Aurelius. He's told he's going to be emperor, but Antoninus is going to rule first. And they think it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's like 20 years. He has to wait 20 years before he can become the emperor of Rome. So if Marcus doesn't have patience, if life doesn't force him to practice the virtue of patience, he'd have gone crazy, he'd have lost his mind, and then he wouldn't have actually been as good as he was as emperor. All things require patience, whether you're writing books, whether you're being a leader, whether you have kids. Learning how to practice patience is critical. And what I think when I'm stuck in traffic, when a flight is delayed, when my book's going slower than I thought, I go, this isn't frustrating, this isn't annoying, although it is those things. I say, this is an opportunity to get reps with patience. This is the opportunity to practice patience, and I will be better for having gone through this.
I own the morning. I'm a morning person. I tackle the morning. I kick the shit out of the morning. I am successful in the morning. I wake up early. I take my kids outside, we run or we go on a walk. One of my rules, I don't touch my phone for the first 1 hour that I'm awake. Then one of my big habits is I tackle my big creative project first. I don't get sucked into email first. I don't have a meeting first. I don't watch TV first. I tackle the big creative project first. That wasn't just naturally who I was. This is something I had to develop and build. Seneca says that life without design is erratic. Build a routine and stick to it. Little things are not small. Well-being is realized by small steps, but it's no small thing. Marcus Aurelius says we assemble our life action by action, step by step. No one can stop you from that. So today, as you get discouraged, as you look at this goal that's way, way off in the distance, don't focus on that. Focus on the immediate task in front of you. Concentrate like a Roman, as Marcus Aurelius says, as if it's the only thing that matters, as if it's the last thing that you're doing in your life. Many mickles make a muckle, as Washington said. Stuff adds up. That's how you get there, one step at a time, one day at a time, one action at a time, one insight at a time. Just go now.
Most people don't read enough or at all. Those of us that read, there's all these books out there that we haven't read that we want to read. But what about the books that we read when we were 20 and we didn't even understand what we weren't understanding about it? What about a book like Marcus Aurelius Meditations that every time you read it, something new or better appears in it? One habit we can practice this year, it's not just reading, but it's rereading. Seneca talks about lingering on the works of the master thinkers. One of the pieces of advice that Marcus says he gets from Rusticus, his philosophy teacher, is that he can't just be satisfied getting the gist of a book. He has to really understand what it means, which means reading it not once, but twice or 10 times or 100 times. Think about better habits in 2023. Think about going back to books that were influential when you were younger, that you didn't like when you were younger, that challenged you when you were younger, or just feel apropos or of the moment right now. Go back and reread them this year, and you'll be surprised what you find out and learn.
Who do you associate with? Studies show like if you have unhealthy friends, you're going to be unhealthy. If you have ambitious friends, you're going to be ambitious. My father said this to me as a kid. He said, Ryan, you become like your friend. So who do you surround yourself with? Who's your peer group? We have the Daily Stoic Life community, by the way, which I'd love to have you join. Private Facebook group, get extra emails, you get Q&As with me. But the idea is, who's your community? In the ancient world, the Stoics had the Scipionic Circle, a group of Stoics who would get together and have dinner parties and events and debate philosophy and read books and share with each other. Even the relationship between Seneca and Lucilius, which we get in Seneca's Letters of a Stoic, it's them talking to each other. He says, we learn as we teach. By having this peer group, they both get better. So who are you spending time with this year? One foundational habit for next year, I think, would be free up precious resources. You say you don't have time, but here you are watching this video. You watch too much news, spend too much time doom scrolling. We spend too much time on things that don't matter. One of the best habits changes I've made is sort of winnowing my worldview. Of course, you have to know what's going on in the world, but you don't have to obsess about it in real time. You don't have to consume things that make you feel crappy or awful or suck you into the catastrophizing mindset. If you wish to improve, Epictetus says, you have to be willing to not know about some things. Lock in time to focus on making better habits by eliminating things that are sucking up too much of your time now. You have to say no to the inessential. Marcus Aurelius says most of what we do is not essential. But when we say no to those inessential things, when we eliminate them, it gives us a double benefit, because then we can do the essential things better. So you have to realize that everything you say yes to means you're saying no to something else. But conversely, and most importantly, when you say no to the things that don't matter, it gives you the opportunity to say yes to the things that really do matter. And not a little yes, not a soft yes, but an emphatic, both feet yes. And that's what you need to be successful and happy and good. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe. But what I really want you to subscribe to is our daily Stoic email, 1 bit of Stoic wisdom, totally for free, to the largest community of Stoics ever in existence. You can sign up at dailystoic.com/email. There's no spam. You can unsubscribe at any time. I love sending it. I've sent it every day for the last 6 years, and I hope to see you there at dailystoic.com/email.